Morning everybody, and welcome to Sunday Q&A with me and Vince the Bear. We've got a different camera angle because the thing that I used to put the phone on with a selfie stick has now gone upstairs. It's a great big old metal safe that I got off my mate. This is my mate's dad's, my best mate's dad's. I've had it forever, so it's kind of sentimental. But it's gone upstairs because we're going to try and turn upstairs into a mini office. Any idea in case I ever actually have to do any proper sort of officey work, although I'm not really cut out for it. Right, what we got today? Yes, today we have to open up the Sunday Q&A by, I have to say, today I said goodbye to an old friend. I say an old friend, we weren't together for that long, but she was lovely, and she's gone to a better place, because this morning I sold Jessica to Simple Brian. I got up and I've gone up to Newport Pagnell. We took it for a test drive, absolutely fine. So she won't be doing a million miles anymore. She'll be doing probably hired out basically Saturday and Sundays to people moving house. But if you're in the Milton Keynes area and you're looking to hire a van, and if you go to Simple Van Hire, there's a possibility that you may end up driving Jessica. So anyway, the lorry's in out. So there we go. So right, to start with, right. We're going to start the day with a question. This come up from Harper Valentine, so you can cheat and scroll to the answers, but I'm going to tell you in 10 minutes anyway, so it's not really worth wasting your time. He said, this is my favourite question on my motorbike test. If a blue rotating light is for emergency vehicles, and a green rotating light is for medical vehicles, and a yellow rotating light is for service vehicles, what's a white rotating light? I'll tell you at the end. Right. There we go. So what do we got to do today? Right, so I did that driving without due care and attention course as I put out on the Friday. It was all right. Best part about it was short. What have we said? Ian McBride said, classic case of when you need a policeman. They did you. He said they did you, but they wouldn't do a lorry with a trailer. I kind of thought that. I kind of went, yeah, guys. And what really done me was the fact that I just in the back of my mind, I thought, I'm out here working. Again, maybe laying it a bit thick because you didn't know, but we didn't know what was going on. Risking my life so that people, because I'm over 50, can get the stuff that they need to keep the country going. And you're out here having a pop at me. But at the end of the day, I did it wrong. What are you going to do? You learn as you go. Been on the course, wipe your mouth and walk away. David Johnson says, oh yeah, he's put me straight on a couple of things that I've got wrong already. It's not be the first time, won't be the last. Green doesn't mean green. Green doesn't mean go. Green means go if you can. Because if the light is green and there's a pedestrian walking out in front of you, you still can't go. And he said another thing is, things you don't realise, pedestrians have the right of way at junctions. This is something they said on the course. They said they're called carriageways. Motorways are different. Motorways are built for motor vehicles. Carriageways, he says, it is what it says on the tin. They are for carriages. They're for carriage vehicles. They're for horses. They're for people on bikes. They're not for cars. Cars just happen to go on carriageways. So don't think because it's a road you've got the right. You haven't. It's a carriageway. It may have concrete on it and you may pay road tax, whereas other people don't. But yeah, and he says if you get to a junction, the pedestrian's walking across, they've actually got the right of way, not you. And then he says, I'll get my coat. Like the fast show reference, please. Put me straight when I'm wrong. That's why you guys are here. Get the truth. The truth is out there. It's like Mulder and Scully, Peter and Vincent. Well, I think Vincent's a boy. Anonymous says, he said, I got done doing 35 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone by two police boys hiding behind a church wall with a camera gun on Sunday morning. He said, I'm still smiling about it. Yeah, I kind of get that. Again, as I've always said with everything, there's a bit of give and take here. With a handball, there's give and take. Okay, you give 25 minutes free, 20 minutes free. It's gone on for 30 minutes. Don't ring them and try and kick them for a fiver. It's only 10 minutes, guys. But it's like with the police guys. If you're there, standing there in the road, or if someone's tearing past the school at 50 miles an hour, it's fair game. But hiding behind a wall and going, it's a bit, isn't it, really? I remember one of the guys who looks after Alice now, because they're the commercial mob, and he said, I've had a clean driving licence all my life, and then on one Sunday morning I got speeding fine twice. Once taking my daughter to riding, and once coming back from taking my daughter to riding, I was doing, he said I was doing 40 mile an hour on a 30 mile an hour zone on a clear road on a Sunday morning. He wasn't best pleased. End of the day, I'm trying to lock it down, stop at orange, give way. I just don't want to be on the courses. It costs you money. Not just the money spent going on the course, the money. I know I lost the morning's job as well. So try to be a good boy. So we're on to the miscellaneous. Peter O'Neill says, what if you break down when carrying the shipper's goods? I've done a video on this, and I think if it's the right one, you'll actually see me broken down. So there should be a link coming up there. I don't think it says so. The long and short is just ring them. Ring them and tell them. If you keep them in contact all the way through. What happened with me, I was doing the flowers, and we used to get a regular job doing the flowers. I had to deliver down to Bournemouth, got all the way down to Bournemouth, the alternator light came on. Once the alternator light comes on, she's like, you know, good night Vienna. You ain't got long. I managed to get half of them off as best I could, and then I was lucky. I managed to swap to one of our vans. But ring the shipper, say I've broken down. This is my location. Chances are they'll send another van to get the ferry goods off you. But or just say, what do you want me to do? I can get recovered. I'll go back to here. Decent as the guy told me. When the alternator went, I rang him, I told him the situation, rang him straight away, said the alternator, let's come on, I'm going to do the best I can, I'm going to try and get it off. Then I rang him a bit again, I've stopped, and he went, okay, don't worry, these things happen in transport. If you're up front with people, you're straight with people, you know, what else are they can scream and shout at you, but you go, well, what do you want me to do? It's a mechanical vehicle, you know, things break. Dolly Dalton's giving a bit of heads up here. He said he had 4 vans going to Covent Garden. They charge £5 per van to deliver because he's on the ambient and he's on the freezer mob. I presume is that Covent Garden, Nine Elms, because I think that might have shut now, or have they moved it because there's Covent Garden. That's the posh market in Covent Garden. Then they moved the fruit market to Nine Elms. I think they've knocked that one down now because they built the American embassy. And I think it's gone somewhere else now. I don't know. But I presume that, so be wary. But the truth of the matter is, I'd ring the shipper. He is a shipper, so he can't get away with that. But if it happened to me and I say, look, they want me to deliver this stuff, it's going to cost me £5 to get in. Can you put £5 in the job, please? Otherwise, I can't go in. Tobias Green, but yeah, thanks for heads up anyway, mate. Tobias Green says, thanks for the help. He's going back to work after 16 years on the sick. Good luck, my friend. Any questions, you know where we are. We know where I am, and you know where the rest of the mob are too. Arpad says, he said, get into Amazon Relay on a 7.5 tonne. There are loads near me. I know, because I used to get them when I was working with Tony. You get phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning going, we need a van in there in 20 minutes. And because I'm really close to the Dunstable depot, I could be in there. And you get decent money for them jobs. You could get something like £165 for moving a pallet like 5 miles down the road. But you had to be there. They wanted you you had to be there in 20 minutes. So it is a bit of a push for me. And particularly with a truck, I can't do in 20 minutes with a truck. It takes me 15 minutes to do the walk around and the checks. But I will take that on board. I think I might. There's a few pallet networks near me. I should give them a bell. James Rowan says, are you making as much as you thought in a 7.5 tonne? It's better. I'm still getting the hang of it. It strikes me that you either do one job distance to get your day's money and then be prepared to roll back empty because your driver's hours and stuff like that, or you do a job in the morning and a job in the afternoon, either short distance for like slightly less than a day's money but no diesel, or reasonable distance for days money. I'm still getting the hang of it. The truth of the matter is I haven't had a proper week yet. I've had 1 week where I've had to do the driving without due care and attention. Last week I had the MOT. The week before that I had the day just sorting the truck out and I was running for it. I haven't actually had a full week running in the truck yet. I've got nothing booked for Monday yet. So I'm going to see how I go next week, and I think what I might do is at the end of next week I'll do one of them videos to say, right, this is the rundown of what happened to me this week, just to put you guys in the picture. Because I'm still learning. It's all relatively new to me, the 7.5 tonne lark, so I like it though. It's less stressful, more relaxed. The only thing that's getting me is they're changing that LEZ, I think, on the 1st of March. Is it 1st of March next year? So in 6 months' time, they're expanding the LEZ out to the North Circular for my truck. I really don't want to change it because I like my truck, but I might have to swap it for Euro 6. I've seen them on there. They're not that much dearer. I say they're not that much dearer. I have to find another £3,500. But I like it because it's got a day sleeper cab, and a lot of the others have just got the 3 seats. There ain't a lot of room in the front of a DAF truck. There's more stuff. You've got more room in the front of a Mercedes Sprinter because the seat flips forward and you can put stuff underneath the seat. With the sleeper cab, you've got like the cubby holes and stuff behind you. But without that, it's like, How am I supposed to put me on at? You know. Anyway, like I say, I'll do something on that next week. Let you know when I've done a full week. I'll give you the full SP. Samuel Bodnar says, "What do you use to download and store your taco card?" I don't know yet, because my transport manager, I think he's either still in Romania or he's on lockdown because he's come back from Romania, but he's going to give me a bell on Monday. So we're going to meet up. I've got to meet up soon because, of course, otherwise I'm going to be in infringements, because you're supposed to, I think you're supposed to download the card at the end of every week. I'm not sure, or every 28 days. They did tell me on a CPC course. I've forgotten. I'm hoping that there's going to be some kind of leeway in the fact that I was new. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm doing my best to comply. When I started, I did I overshot my working hours because I forgot all about it. I did more than 13 hours in a day or 12 hours in a day because I overshot. And I'm writing it all down in the infringements book. Ever so sorry. Getting the hang of it. I'm getting better. I'm getting a lot better. I'm learning how to work it, like, you know. But yeah, as soon as I work it all out, I'll give you a shout. I've written that and I can't even say what it says. Gosh, something. Sorry, my friend. Scribble. I can't read my own handwriting. He was going to tell me about the straps. He says, you're getting the idea with the straps. If it's tight, give it another tug. I have noticed they've actually, because now I've started to do it, they've actually become loose. I pulled one the other day and I pinged it and I went bang, and the thing just went, I've now got this much underneath the cab. So I think they are loosening up. I think they probably have been sitting there for a little while and they are loosening up. Also, he says, check the ratchet shop to get an easy winder. Yeah, I can beat you on that one. I've got this thing. There is going to be a link. You've got to watch this video. Even if you flick forward to near the end of the video, there's this thing. It fits on the end of a drill. It's like a frisbee with metal bits sticking in the drill. You put that in between the metal bits. That's the frisbee underneath. Hit the drill. And it just goes. Obviously, the amount of people that have seen me do it going, I've got winder strap energy. That's cheating. You know, I'm like, great, isn't it? You've got to get yourself one of those. They're fabulous. And also, he says, this is good advice. When you take your taco breaks, don't do 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Don't drive off the second you get there. Do 17 minutes, 32 minutes, 47 minutes. What I tend to do is when it gets there to like the 15 minutes, then I go, right, ready to go now. Reprogram your sat nav. Reset up my station, have a sip of tea, and that takes the extra couple of minutes because, you know, those that don't like it if you drive straight off. So the guy told me that on my CPC training, in fairness. So, but thanks again for the advice. On the subject of old vans on the CX, Baldy head turned around. He says, I've got an Astra van that looks terrible. Because he drove it into the back of a 4x4. He said, but I've developed a thick skin. I'm always polite. It's always clean. I'm tidy. I turn up on time. He said, but it does drag him down a bit when people look at his van like, ugh. He said, before I backed into it, it was lovely. And it's a reliable van. Yeah, I get you. I get your chagrin, mate. I think what I would probably say in that situation is if you turn up and they look at your van and go, oh, no. So you could just say, it happened to me yesterday. It's broken my heart. I've taken so much care of the van. They'll get a different opinion of you. You know, you can get across the customer. You can change the fork truck driver's mind. You can upset them, or you can make them smile. But yeah, I'm sorry for you, mate. It's kind of like I say. I lost someone very dear. I lost a van very dear to me this morning, so I know how it feels. But the advantage, of course, is selling it to a mate of mine who rents vans. Is if for any reason, like for example, when I've got to take the truck in for his 8-week inspection, I can ring him up and I can hire it for the day, so I can still get to run and get to work in a Luton van. Just thought actually. I never thought of that. So I could have a day off. Never going to happen. Steve Campbell says, he was said the Derbyshire police. He was on saying last week there was some geezer throwing a concrete brick off of that's a terrible thing, off of a bridge. Apparently it was attached to a rope, throwing it off, banging into cars, and bringing it back out and throwing it off again. So I think it's my they've got the geezer on camera. He said he was going up there because he was going to basically, I think it might have been a suicide attempt originally. I think this guy might have issues, so we'll have to wait and see on that score. But hey, at least you guys are safe. That's the main thing. So is it moaning trucker says, because I said about how much I'm going to get in a 7.5 tonner. He said, if you're getting $250 a mile and £500 a day rate, he said, I don't get that in a 44 footer. It's weird how it works. I'm starting to realise this. I get more money for a job going from Milton Keynes to Wembley than I would going from Milton Keynes to Leeds. It strikes me where my niche is with a 7.5 tonne. It's like it was with the Lutons. It's a hot shot. We want it on the hurry up. This thing has just arrived and it needs to be at a school where the engineers are waiting to fit it. You've got to get in now, pick it up, get it there as soon as you can. I had an interesting one on Friday. I don't know, I think I said about it with a pipe. But yeah, we want it there. We want it there now, and it's too big to go in the Luton van. If it's going up the Leeds or somewhere like that, what'll happen is they'll just put it on a transport firm. They'll put it on the pallet ways, or they'll put it on the pallet network, and they'll go, well, we've got 4 pallets that need to go up there, and there'll be some geezer who's just dropped off in London's going back to Leeds. We'll do it for 80 quid. You'll go, yeah, I'll just pick it up, just stick it on with the others, away you go. So my niche is not there, but it is working. It is kind of working. I think, you know, you're only going to get a £500 a day off of an end user customer, and there's one guy who might want to book me for the day every Wednesday starting next month. I probably won't get that. I won't get that kind of money on the exchange, but you can get. I mean, £150 I've been doing jobs for seems cheap, unless they're really short. 180. I mean, it's not. They're not. I mean, £250 a minimum job. That's way too much. But I'm ringing the guys up. I quoted one guy £200. I said, "Where are you?" He went, "No." He said, "That's the right money." That was going from Gatwick to Lewis in Brighton. He said, the thing is, the job, we don't even know if the job's going ahead, but it wasn't far. 60 odd miles. I quoted him a tour and he was happy. Just if the job had worked, you know. So as it was, I got a better one. But that was just luck. But I will find my way, and like I say, I'll see what happens next week, and I'll do a video about it. Danny Richardson, he says, you like being restricted to 56 miles an hour? He said, I tried it for about a minute and then went back to 70. I don't like being restricted to 56 miles an hour. One, because it really messes with your times. The amount of times with last week where I've had to stop, I'm half an hour away from home, and I've had to stop for half an hour because I'm up my driving hours, or where I've got 3 hours, 3.5 hours to drive. I've driven for half an hour, then I've had to stop, and then I've got to drive for 3 hours. Wouldn't it have been nice if there was a way you could change it? 3.5 hour drive, I'll stop after an hour and 3/4. But of course, however you do it, it's always going to be wrong. But you just get used to it. Like when I used to drive in the van, I always used to lock it off at 64 miles an hour, which meant I was doing 62. That's another thing I've noticed. Speedos on lorries are accurate. Speedos on vans run 2 miles faster than. So if it says 64, the Waze would tell me I'm doing 62. If the lorry says I'm doing 50, the Waze says I'm doing 50. So yeah, but it is what it is, you know. And it's better doing 56 miles an hour, knowing you're getting £2 a mile, than doing 62 miles an hour, knowing you're getting £1 a mile. It does make it easier. As my mate Dave the Chris said, there's a difference between sitting in traffic. He's a cab driver. Sitting in traffic and sitting in traffic with a meter running. So there you go. Getting in here now. Arpad Attila Sisispi. Did my best there. He said, are you chasing feedback, and how do you proceed? I don't tend to. We do enough jobs now in the company. We just kind of get enough feedback anyway. Any feedback chasing they do in the office now. So I would say the best thing to do back in the day: do the job, do it polite, be polite, do it on time. You can ask them. Send them a text saying, "Thanks very much. Just finished the job. Would really appreciate it." So I would just throw yourself on your sword. Say, "Look, I'm relatively new to this. I could really use some good feedback. Would really appreciate it." You might get. Some people won't. Some people will. So yeah, that's what I would do. Gelu, is it Eugene? Eugene says, "Oh yeah, on the advert thing. Hopefully they've disappeared now. For £6 a month, he says you can go ad free." You can use it for the music because you can minimise it, so it's kind of the same as Spotify. I like my Spotify. I like the suggestions and stuff like that. Well, that does still annoy me that I have to rent music I've already bought every month for £6. How much is mine a month? £10 a month, Spotify, isn't it? But then I thought, well, the amount of other things I spend £10 a month on that aren't as important as the music I listen to all the time, I just swallow it. He says you get downloads, you get original shows, and of course you won't have to watch adverts in front of these sloppy videos. So that might be something worth considering. So that's kind of everything. We're coming down to a conclusion now, which I wrote down somewhere. There you go. Finally, from Panda Drone, he says, "Thanks, Pete. You're a courier encyclopedia." I try, and it's not me. I stand on the shoulders of giants. All I tend to do is pass on. I did say something wrong, and then pass on the correct information that you guys are generous enough to pass on forward. And finally, the answer to Harper Valentine's question. If blue light is emergency services, green is it blue light is what? Blue light is emergency, green light is medical, yellow light is services, what is a white rotating light? Nuclear recovery services. Chances are if you see one of those, you'll probably also see a blue light and a green light and a yellow light too. So yeah, it will be like a disco. Anyway, there we go. Sunday Q&A. It's raining. Won't be sitting in the pub garden today. Hope you're all well. Take care, take money.